Hello everybody, I'm Bennett Campbell Ferguson. I'm here with Patrick Bellin, Maxwell Myers, and Mo Shawnette, and we are here today to review Guardians of the Galaxy. So, I've got a question for you guys, as I always do. This movie is obviously part of a very big plan, needless to say, part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe of the Avengers and Iron Man. But how would you guys rate this movie as a standalone experience, as something separate from that overall vision?
I am Groot.
That's it. Goodbye, everybody.
I think part of what I liked about this movie, and I really liked this movie, is that it is deliberately separate from the rest of the Marvel universe. Like so far, all of Phase 2 has sort of been about the interconnectivity of the Marvel Universe after Avengers. You know, Iron Man's PTSD, Thor cleaning up after what happened in Asgard.
The Nine realms have fallen into chaos.
Captain America working with S.H.I.E.L.D. Guardians of the Galaxy is separate from that, very deliberately. You don't have to worry about S.H.I.E.L.D. or New York or anything that's gone on there. It's very much its own thing. And that's what I like about it. And I do like it. It's a fun action movie. It's hilarious. It looks fantastic. The actors are great. It's really good.
It is interesting you bring up that point. It does connect, and then it's one of those things I'm sure later we're going to be like, whoa, that totally connects to so many things. We just don't realize it now, but it did feel nice to kind of take that step back and be like, instead of dealing with this huge plot, other than Thanos making an appearance, which, not really a spoiler. Is that a spoiler?
Well,
not
he's
so
talked
much.
about it in the press.
So there you go. So Thanos is there.
Are we allowed to go into spoiler territory?
We can go into spoiler territory.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh my god, Howard the Duck.
Patrick, how would you rate Guardians of the Marvel Pantheon?
Where would I start? Well, I'll start with your original question. I thought it was a great movie. In fact, I want to see it again because there's some interesting stuff going on there. Personally, this is one of these rare movies where I'm having trouble deciding if it's worth 3.5 stars or a 4-star movie. I feel like
The eternal dilemma.
there's a couple of things missing here that, to me, that made me kind of want to pause and think about it a little more, which is why I want to see it again.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing that I found really interesting in what you were just talking about earlier was this interesting juxtaposition between this human pop culture references that we can identify with, at the same time having this space opera fantasy thing going on, and the audience is having to negotiate between those two things.
It
I
almost
think it's
creates
a
like
really
a
interesting
safety
experience.
blanket in a way. Like it almost makes you feel connected in the straight world without feeling too out of place. Maybe.
Yeah,
I can see that, yeah.
Which goes into your point about accessibility, because this is supposed to be separate from the other films, so it's something to bring the audience into it, like a non-comic book pop culture audience into the movie,
Right.
which I think would make it seems to have worked for the most part, considering how much money it's making.
Yeah, I mean,
like
going off of the you mentioned being uncertain about some things. I have to admit I am too. I think probably the thing I love most about the movie was, ironically considering it's an adaptation, the originality. I mean, a talking tree and a talking raccoon. You know, I mean, like these are really great ideas. You know, it was risky, it paid off. They're really charming characters.
It is a very risky voyage to just be like, oh, we're gonna do this thing.
And in the spirit of that, I almost wish they pushed it a little farther, because I was a little disappointed in the end when it comes down to saving the universe from being destroyed by a super weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would have liked a slightly more unconventional climax in keeping with those characters.
Mm-hmm.
That's something I was also kind of a little disappointed in. Was sort of this lack of ambition.
Yes.
In the
yeah.
movie. Like
I agree.
it's sort of, in as much as you can play it safe with these weird characters and this like mostly unknown property, it sort of does. It finds this comfort zone where it's pretty irreverent. It's joke heavy. It's always trying to make you laugh.
I think they kind of had to, though.
You kind of have
I think they kind of had to play it safe. I mean, you're taking a big enough risk by taking this property that no one really knows, that has a talking raccoon, and a tree that only says "I am Groot." I mean, and you gotta. I think they put that out there, but I mean, you're already taking so many risks. I think to push it even further could have put it in jeopardy. And also, these aren't people we've met once before. This isn't the Avengers. This is people. Guess what? You're just meeting the 5 main characters right now. It's kind of hard to be more ambitious than that at that point, I think.
But at the same time, you
Without alienating the audience.
At the same time, like the earlier movies that had fresh IPs and fresh characters, there was something more to them. Iron Man just had this subtext of the war in Iraq and selling weapons to the enemy. Captain America was a callback to these old 40s movies, but it was also just the risk of Captain America as a character, as someone who doesn't have a traditional arc, who is just supposed to be the good guy,
who could seem dated in
and making him
current pop culture.
And making that compelling. Thor, even though it's Norse mythology, there's callbacks to Arthurian mythology with Mjolnir being stuck in a rock, and the heavier presence of S.H.I.E.L.D. that's setting up for the Marvel Universe. And Avengers, that's the last one,
Hulk,
I guess.
Incredible Hulk.
Incredible Hulk.
Well, I think
Incredible Hulk was bouncing back from the 2003 one. That was its biggest hurdle.
Our
It's a lot to
inspiration
recover from.
Our ambition is to be better than the last time. That's all we need. Well, I don't know. I was just thinking about Iron Man. I mean, that one wasn't that risky. I mean, in the sense, that one kind of feels like the same amount. Here's your character. He's hijacked. He needs to become a better person, and he does. He saves the day, and then he lets the world know he's the hero. I mean, I think that was kind of along the same lines. They're like, oh, we're gonna be risky by taking a second tier character, giving them the first movie, and this is our first foray in, and that was their big risk. That was their ambition. I mean, I think they've been taking big risks for so long. When you're gonna choose something no one's ever heard of, something that's less well known than Iron Man, you kind of have to.
Well, I think
I mean,
certain like parts of stories like kind of wear out over time, and I love the first Iron Man. I think I would say for me it's even still the best one they've done. But
we read your article. We know how you really feel, DC.
I know everyone hates me now.
No, we'll judge you a little harshly though.
But like I think the fact like you said, it was that same arc, and I feel like that arc was wearing a bit thin then, and if it was wearing thin then it's definitely wearing thin now, especially since we've seen a lot. I mean, I think you like if you're gonna like if that's gonna be your story, that you save the universe from being destroyed by a super weapon, you've gotta like really invest some major emotion in it. And not that there wasn't emotion in Guardians, because there was.
Definitely.
I mean, the characters are very human. I think to sell the story, you might need even more emotion.
Regardless of what the shortcomings we were just talking about earlier, the screenplay is why it's making gazillions of dollars.
It's true.
think.
That's where the soul is, I think. Yeah.
I have a postcard question. How long before we find a baby Groot toy that reacts to music?
I've seen like fake ads for those.
A matter of weeks.
Yeah.
No, all you gotta do is just do those dancing daisies that just kind of sit there and do that.
Yeah.
Just replace it with Groot.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
if it's as adorable as that spot, I would
play ABC
I'd probably
and
buy
it'll be
it for my
fine.